Okay, basically when you get your Springbokkie rocket kit, it will look as follows. You will have 3 pins. Okay, this looks so nice in the shot. Sorry, I'm not used to live streaming yet and getting everything prepped ahead of time. Okay, as I said, you will have 3 pins, 1 body tube, 1 thrust string assembly, 1 nose cone, 1 lawn slug, the 3 pins, 1 recovery harness, and 1 streamer. What you will need is some wood glue, something to make you draw a straight edge on a round surface, angle aluminium, or you can buy one of my kits that provides you with an angle, an easy fin alignment guide, and a thrust string spacer assembly that allows you to put the thrust string in the correct position for when you put the motors in, so it doesn't fly through the rocket. So first of all, we are going to do the thrust string assembly. Quite simple. You take your recovery harness, you make a knot in one end, so it's nice and tight. You will see there's a small ring inside the thrust string. Pull it through, nice and tight. Then you make a knot at the other end, so the thrust string cannot move around. So now your thrust string is secured and your recovery harness can't move around. So at this point, you take your body tube, you put your recovery harness through. We are doing this before we do any glue work so that we don't get any glue on the recovery harness. Otherwise it might get stuck in the body tube and then you have other types of problems. So now you've got your thrust string assembly and you pull your recovery harness through. You take your glue and on the inside you apply a ring of glue, not on your finger like I just did, because I'm not watching what I'm doing. I'm doing this so you can see what I'm doing. So as you can see, there's a round layer of glue on the inside. Just going to wipe that off. You put your thrust string inside, use your thrust string spacer, push, release. And now your thrust string is this deep inside your body tube where it can dry while we do the other steps of the assembly. Now this usually involves making a hole in one side of the streamer. Careful not to move the thrust string inside. Take your recovery harness, push it through here until it's about halfway down, and then make a simple knot. For those of you who get parachutes, basically the same principle. You attach the shroud lines to the midpoint here, and now are we going for a black nose cone or a yellow nose cone? Let's use the yellow one because it's a nice sunny day. Unfortunately, the ice cream van decided to come through. You will notice a hole through the bottom here of your nose cone. It's so you can put your recovery harness through and knot it on. And then I would make several more knots, pulling tightly because this is elastic. And when you pull tight and release, it will bounce up on itself, thereby tightening the knot securely. Another thing I forgot was you will need a pen. I've got pens here. Yep, my typical noisy self. Okay, got a pencil. Now careful not to pull, because if your thrust string goes in too deep, the motor will go in too deep and you'll have difficulty retrieving it. If it moves backwards, then the motor will stick out too far at the back and your center of pressure will be too far back and your center of gravity will be too close to your center of pressure, thereby causing instability in your rocket flight. Now, here's where this doohickey comes in. It's an easy fin alignment device. Goes over. So how many fins do you want? I've made this so you can do up to 6 fins if you want to. Now we are going to use 3. So we use the top one and these 2 at the bottom. They are exactly 120 degrees apart, which if you take this circumference of a circle, which is 360 degrees, divided by 3, you get 120. So now you've got 3 pencil marks. I will just make it a bit clearer. Take your angle, push it against the body, and because you're pushing like this, it lies securely in the hollow, thereby allowing you to draw straight lines on a round surface. Now we usually go about 1 centimeter from the bottom, and then I just make a line. I do this for the other 2 as well. And now we've got 3 lines around the body. So now our next job will be to glue our fins perpendicular to the body. And to do that, we use something called the double glue method. I learned about this in G. Harry Stein's The Book of Model Rocketry. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a little bit of glue down here. I'm going to go fast. If you have any questions, you can just slow down the video and replay it. So now I'm going to use this as a fin drawing stand. So I take the edge, so it's going to go down, rub it in the glue, and put it in there to dry. So now we go to the next one. We do the same. Spreading the glue out like this gives more surface area, thus allowing the glue to dry faster. So at this point, I will have to hurry up a bit, because my first application has already started to dry. So now I take my first one. These can now be taken out because a thin layer of glue dries incredibly quickly. So just put it over there. Put my fin on. Put my fin on. But even though it is currently sticking down, it is not securely fastened yet. So what we've got to do is secure it in a correct position until the first layer of glue has dried. So use this device, slot our pins into the slots and push it in slightly. And now this becomes a fin drawing guide, keeping our fins in the correct position. So at this point we go and we add a drop of glue, just a drop, otherwise you will glue that easy fin alignment guide to the rocket, and then it will not fly as intended. So there we go. You will find the piercing device. You can use the back and spread the glue over the rocket body and the fin. We will apply more glue later to manufacture a fin fillet. Because wood glue is acrylic, it basically turns into a type of plastic when dry. So we are joining the fin to the rocket with a piece of plastic. As you can see, this is quite simple. This is not a complicated rocket. It's intended for beginners. So we'd leave it there to dry for a bit. Once you see it turning transparent, you will know it is dry. That's the advantage of wood glue. And because it's a nice hot day, it will stick quickly. So when you build these rockets in the summer, it's 30 minutes or so to build one when you've got experience. Otherwise it takes a little longer. It takes a little longer for me because I'm explaining every step right now. So I'm keeping an eye, because you just need to keep it in position until it's reasonably dry. Then you can apply more glue and secure it more properly. The next thing you have to decide is where you're going to put your lawn slug. So one of the easiest ways to do it is to apply it here in a corner. You glue it into a corner and then it's aligned. But the other method is to find the center of gravity of your rocket and put your lawn slug there. So just for now, just going to make my rocket stand like this, and then because I don't want it to fall over while the pins are still wet, take my streamer and I'm now going to fold it for packing so I can put the nose cone inside so I can balance my rocket and find my center of gravity. If you find your streamer doesn't fit properly, what you can do is cut it in half to reduce its volume. So you pack your recovery harness, shock cord inside. Remove this because it does add weight, and you find your center of gravity. And you mark your center of gravity, also known as your center of mass. And because this is quite forward, the shape means that when the wind blows on it, your center of pressure will be quite far back. The reason it's so far in front is because the motor adds weight while it's flying. And when the motor is in, your center of gravity moves backwards. So as you can see, my glue is starting to turn transparent. So I'm going to glue my lawn slug here in the back. One of the advantages of doing it in the back is that it gives you more time on the launch rail as it takes off to achieve optimum speed. Now, when I flew these in the 1990s, the launch slug I was given was a piece of plastic straw. But now, today, it's very easy to find cardboard straws. So it's easier to glue paper to paper than plastic to paper. So basically your assembly is now complete. You just need to leave your rocket to dry. And that is the assembly of the Springbokkie rocket kit. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Always remember, recap